There is one type of broke person so common, so perfectly disguised, that entire friend groups will go years without anyone naming it out loud. The fake rich broke person checks Instagram comments on vacation photos while quietly ignoring a collections number flashing on their phone. They have the wardrobe, the restaurant table, the confident wave when the bill lands, and exactly $0 they actually own free and clear. There is a type of broke on this list far more quietly devastating than this one, and it won't arrive until the very end. One nice coat, one confident restaurant order, the studied habit of never letting the bill linger long enough for anyone to see your face. The performance is so complete that sometimes they forget it's a performance, right until the card gets declined at a self-checkout, and they scan the aisle to see if anyone noticed. A culture that reads your financial worth off your shoes made fake rich broke not just common but practically inevitable. Paycheck to paycheck broke isn't hiding anything, because there isn't time. A Federal Reserve survey found that roughly 4 in 10 American adults said they couldn't cover an unexpected $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. These are not people who made catastrophic decisions. They're living in a specific, exhausting arithmetic where rent, groceries, utilities, and childcare add up to almost exactly what lands in the account every 2 weeks. There's no room for error, so every surprise, a busted tire, a dental bill, a slow week at work, becomes a genuine crisis. No brunch, no pretending everything's fine. The calculation is whether the gas tank makes it to Friday. The subscription broke person doesn't have one dramatic money problem. They have 47 small ones, each quietly auto-renewing every month while they sleep. 4 streaming platforms, a meditation app last opened in March, a cloud storage plan 2 tiers too large, a premium news subscription activated during one anxious election night. None of them cost much. Together they eat $200 or $300 a month. Money the person would swear they don't spend on anything. The billing model was designed specifically to be invisible, because the moment a charge becomes a real object in your mind, a dinner you're not eating, a tank of gas you're not getting, you cancel it. The model produces exactly what it was designed to produce. But there's a version of broke where the money isn't just gone, it's owed. In debt, broke adds a dimension of time. The money missing from your account today is money you already spent 2 years ago. Credit card debt in the United States crossed $1 trillion in 2023, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That's not one bad quarter. That's millions of people carrying balances month to month, paying interest rates of 20% or higher just to stay in place. The math is almost deliberately cruel. A $5,000 balance at 22% annual interest, paid at the minimum, takes more than a decade to eliminate. None of it feels like broke on the day the credit was extended. It feels like broke 3 years later when the bill arrives for a dinner you can't remember eating. Lifestyle creep broke is the one nobody sees coming, because it only happens when things are going well. You get a raise, and slowly, without a single deliberate decision, the apartment gets nicer, the car gets newer, and somehow the savings account looks exactly the same as when you were earning less. Researchers call this hedonic adaptation. Humans recalibrate their sense of normal upward as circumstances improve, almost automatically. The person making $40,000 a year feels just as squeezed as the person making $140,000, because the pressure doesn't come from the paycheck. It comes from whatever the new normal feels like. Earn more, spend more, save the same. Every solution just raised the floor. Some people have simply decided that not looking at the problem is a perfectly valid strategy. Denial broke doesn't open the bank app, swipe and hope. The notification that a payment didn't go through sits unread for 3 days, because reading it makes it real, and not reading it preserves the slim possibility, however irrational, that it might somehow sort itself out. Financial avoidance is well documented in behavioral research. Anxiety drives avoidance, and avoidance worsens the financial situation, which feeds more anxiety. In a loop that can run for months without interruption, the account doesn't improve while they look away. The gig hustler is technically always working. Rideshare in the mornings, freelance projects on weekends, and some reselling operation that generates around $40 or $50 a month. They hustle harder than almost anyone on this list, but gig work structurally strips away the things that make work financially sustainable: employer benefits, stable scheduling, retirement contributions, and predictable hours. After gas, after platform fees, after taxes hit harder with no employer withholding, what remains is often less than minimum wage for the same hours. The gig hustler is working a second job to afford the consequences of the first, and the platform takes its cut before they do. Inheritance broke arrives after a moment of sudden abundance. A relative dies, a windfall lands, $30,000, $60,000, sometimes more. And for a short window it feels like a genuine reset. Research on sudden financial windfalls consistently finds the money gone within a few years, not through one dramatic purchase, but through a quiet sequence: clearing debt, taking a trip, helping family, buying something that felt responsible but wasn't. The cruelty of inheritance broke is that it replaced the windfall with nothing. not even the lesson, because it was too much money to treat with the same discipline as a paycheck, and not enough to actually change the underlying structure. Student loan broke starts with a document signed at 18, a legally binding commitment to a debt load that, at that age, most people can't visualize in any concrete way, because they've never held that amount of money, never spent it, never watched it go. The average federal student loan balance for borrowers in repayment in the United States sits around $38,000, and for graduate and professional degrees, that figure climbs considerably higher. It's a timing problem above everything else. The decision was made before the person had any real basis for making it, and the bill arrived years later when they finally did. And then there's the last one. Retirement broke is the arithmetic of a lifetime of wages that never left room for saving, in a system that called saving a personal responsibility while making it structurally impossible for millions of people. These weren't people who blew windfalls or lost themselves in subscriptions. They worked, often at the same job for decades, doing everything they were supposed to do, and the math simply never cooperated. Now they're in their late 50s or early 60s, watching retirement age approach the way you watch a deadline you've known about for years and still can't meet, and quietly, the same way the fake rich person at the very start of this list was performing fine. They're performing fine too. The performance just costs more.